#cold open. I'm about to ask my husband for a divorce during our couples therapy session. And honestly, I never thought I'd be the person saying those words. Let me back up. 7 years together, 2 years married. We had the kind of relationship where you think, this is it. This is the one. And then slowly, almost without you noticing, everything starts to crack. My husband, let's call him Marcus, he's not a bad person. That's the thing that makes this so impossibly hard. He's genuinely not a bad guy. But he's got this demon, and the demon's name is alcohol. It started small. Or maybe it didn't start small and I just didn't see it. When we were dating, it felt normal enough. But looking back now, there were signs everywhere. His family normalized drinking. His dad drank. His brother, his brother had a serious problem with everything, not just alcohol. That addiction destroyed their whole family before his brother died from it. And somehow, Marcus didn't see the pattern repeating itself in his own life. By the time we got married, I started noticing. He'd come home and immediately pour a drink. Then another. And another. I'd bring it up, gently at first. He'd get defensive. Or he'd promise to cut back. Or he'd say, yeah, I know it's a problem. But knowing and changing are two completely different things, aren't they? Things got really bad last October. I mean, really bad. To the point where I had to sit him down and give him an ultimatum. Drink, or our marriage. Those were the only two options I could see left. He chose sobriety. Or, he said he did. Here's where it gets interesting. Fast forward a few months. It's mid-March, and Marcus's nephew comes home on military leave. They decide to go out together. Catch up. Grab some drinks. Which, okay, sounds innocent enough on the surface. Except Marcus had promised sobriety. He'd committed to this. And he went out and drank anyway. And then, and this is the part that terrifies me, he got behind the wheel. I didn't find out until later that night. He came home completely wasted, collapsed on our couch like a sack of potatoes. I went to check on him, to help him get to bed maybe, and that's when everything went sideways. He was incoherent. Aggressive. He stumbled to the bathroom and just peed on the floor. Like a kid. Like he had no control over his own body. And when I yelled at him to stop, when I raised my voice because I was terrified and angry and confused, he lost it. He punched a hole in our bathroom door. The physical stuff, that's not new, unfortunately. When he drinks, he gets violent. But it's always been directed at things. Walls. Doors. Never at me. He's made that explicitly clear, and honestly, I believe him. I genuinely don't think he'd ever lay a hand on me. But knowing that doesn't make it any less frightening when you're standing there watching the man you love lose complete control. That night, I also learned the truth. He hadn't been sober since October. He'd been drinking the whole time. He just managed not to get completely blackout drunk until that night. So every promise, I've got this, every time I thought we were making progress, it was all a lie. And here's the worst part, I didn't want to believe it. Even knowing the truth, even seeing it play out right in front of me, some part of me wanted to make excuses. He's stressed. He lost his job. Both his parents are dead. He's dealing with a lot, I called our therapist the next day. Told him everything. We had a session scheduled for the 28th, and I knew we needed to address this head-on. But I still didn't want to divorce him. Everyone online kept saying the same thing, just leave him. You're enabling him. You're making excuses. And maybe they were right. Maybe I was making excuses. But he's my husband. He's my rock. And he's also broken. And I'm the only real support system he has left. His parents are gone. His siblings can't help. His friends? They're the ones taking him out to drink. I'm all he has. And I didn't know how to walk away from that. So I told myself I'd handle this at therapy. That's when we'd figure it out. That's when I'd finally say what needed to be said. But I kept hoping, praying, that there'd be some other way. Some way to save him. Some way to save us. I should have known better. Fast forward to April. It's been about a month since that night. A month of living with my parents. A month of him sitting in our house alone. A month of, whatever he's been doing. I needed to stop by to grab some things. I texted him in advance, gave him a heads up so he could step out, give me some space. We weren't ready to be in the same room yet. The tension was just too much. Hours passed. No response. I figured maybe he was out. Maybe he'd finally gotten the message and was giving me what I needed. So I went anyway. And when I opened that door, I realized my husband had been lying to me the entire time. Not just about the drinking. About everything. Part 2. And when I opened that door, the house was a disaster. I'm talking filthy. Dishes piled in the sink. Trash everywhere. The whole place reeked of weed. It was overwhelming. Ashtrays scattered across every surface like some kind of sick art installation. And this was supposed to be our home. The place we'd built together. But that wasn't even the worst part. I started piecing things together. He'd been sitting in this house, unemployed since February, not looking for work, not trying to rebuild anything. Just existing. Playing video games. Hanging out with friends who were clearly enablers. Taking trips on his motorcycle while I'm out here trying to figure out how to save a marriage that's already drowning. And I realized something in that moment, standing in that filthy living room. I'd been making excuses for him this entire time. Oh, he lost his job. Oh, his parents died. Oh, he has trauma. But you know what? Lots of people lose jobs. Lots of people lose parents. Lots of people have trauma. And they don't respond by getting drunk, punching walls, and sitting in a filthy house smoking weed while their spouse works and pays all the bills. That's a choice. I called my therapist from my car. I needed clarity. I needed someone to tell me I wasn't crazy for what I was about to do. And she basically confirmed what I already knew: this is abuse. Not because he hit me, he hasn't, but because he's controlling, he's manipulative, and he's making me feel responsible for his mental health while he destroys himself and our home. Do you know what he accused me of? Financial abuse. Me, because I asked him, begged him, to get literally any job so we could pay our bills together. So I wouldn't have to carry 100% of the financial weight while he played video games and got high. That's the moment I realized, he's not going to change. Not because he can't. But because he doesn't want to. And I can't save someone who doesn't want to be saved. I called my parents. Told them the plan. Friday. Our last couples therapy session. That's where I'm going to tell him I want a divorce. In a controlled environment. With our therapist there. So if he loses it, and let's be honest, he will lose it, at least there's a professional present who can help manage the situation. My parents asked if I was sure. If I'd thought about this long enough. If there was any chance. And I told them the truth: yes. I'm sure. I've been thinking about this for months. And no. There is no chance. I've already mourned the man I thought he was. Now I just need to accept that he's never going to be that man again. The days leading up to Friday were surreal. I was living at my parents' place, sleeping in my childhood bedroom at 28 years old, and trying to mentally prepare myself for the conversation that was going to blow my life apart, even though my life needed to be blown apart in order to survive. I kept rehearsing what I was going to say in my head. Kept imagining how he'd react. Would he cry? Would he rage? Would he try to convince me that things could still work? Would he pull out all the manipulation tactics he'd been using on me for months? Honestly, I didn't care anymore. I was exhausted. Emotionally, physically, spiritually, I was running on empty. Friday came. We met at the therapist's office. Marcus was already there when I arrived. He looked rough. Dark circles under his eyes. He'd clearly been struggling just as much as I had. Part of me felt bad about that. That's the part of me that's codependent and broken and needs to start working on itself in therapy. But I pushed that feeling down. We sat down. The therapist opened with the usual check-in. How has everyone been since we last met? Standard therapeutic stuff. And then she looked at me and asked if there was something I needed to discuss. My heart was pounding. My hands were shaking. But I opened my mouth and said the words I'd been rehearsing for days. I want a divorce. The silence that followed was deafening. Marcus just stared at me. Like I'd spoken in a language he didn't understand. And then his face started to crumble. He immediately got defensive, started arguing, started making excuses, started trying to negotiate. We can fix this. I can get better. Give me another chance. You're giving up on us. And I sat there, completely calm, and said, no. I'm not giving up on us. I'm giving up on you. I've given you multiple chances. Multiple ultimatums. Multiple opportunities to show me that you're serious about getting help. And every single time, you've chosen the bottle over our marriage. He tried to argue with the therapist. Tried to get her to take his side. Tried to convince both of us that this was just a rough patch and that people go through rough patches all the time. But the therapist shut that down fast. She pointed out, very calmly and professionally, that he's been arrested for domestic violence. That he's been unemployed and not seeking work. That he's relapsed multiple times. That he's creating a hostile living environment. And that I have every right to protect myself and my mental health. And then she said something that broke me and healed me at the same time: you cannot set yourself on fire to keep someone else warm. Marcus lost it after that. Started yelling, started pacing. The therapist calmly told him that if he couldn't regulate his emotions, we'd need to end the session. He sat back down. But the damage was done. He finally realized I was serious. After the session ended, I didn't stick around to talk to him. I'd already arranged everything with my parents. I wasn't going to our house alone, no way. That's the most dangerous time, when you're leaving. Everyone online was right about that. Instead, I had my parents meet me at a police station. We called the non-emergency line and explained the situation. They sent an officer to our house to stand outside while we went in and collected my belongings. My husband was furious when he realized what was happening. He tried to argue with the cop. Tried to claim I was the problem. But the officer, bless him, just stood there with his arms crossed and waited for me to get my stuff. I grabbed everything that mattered, my furniture, my personal items, the things my grandfather had left me. And I walked out of that house for what I knew would be the last time as his wife. My lawyer was already drawing up papers. I didn't drag this out. I didn't give him false hope. I had him served with divorce papers a week later. And here's the thing nobody tells you about leaving: it's not some dramatic, cinematic moment where the light comes on and you suddenly feel free. It's messy. It's complicated. It's full of guilt and grief and anger all mixed together. Some days I wondered if I'd made the right choice. Some days I still do. But then I remember standing in that filthy house, surrounded by ashtrays and broken promises. And I remember that I can't save someone who doesn't want to be saved. And I remember that loving someone doesn't mean letting them destroy you in the process. Marcus eventually got some help, real help this time, not the performative kind. Went to rehab. Started attending AA meetings. Built a relationship with a sponsor who actually held him accountable. Last I heard, he was doing better. Genuinely better. But that wasn't my responsibility to make happen. That was always his. And learning that difference, that's what actually saved my life.